I'm gonna start removing the engine. So just gonna be unplugging everything, unbolting everything. Got red wired. All these wires, unplug those. Got some water hoses down there. There are those, that one, and this red. I got the engine out. I ended up having to unbolt this, dig through all that putty, and then unbolt the back of it. There's 3 bolts back there, and then it slid out. I might have been able to do it by hand, but I used this pulley just to make it easier. I think it's 6-to-1. And that was just tied up back there. And I just slid it out. Oh, so that's for that, removing it. Next, I've got to clean up this area in here, pull the engine out of the boat. So this is the next day. I'm going to try and take the engine out of the boat and put it on the dock. It's just me, so I have the 6-to-1 pulley set up to the boom, which is tied up to the top of the mast. I'm going to tighten that up because I had to loosen it to reach down here. Hopefully I can lift it up there and swing it to the side by myself, and I have a dolly I'll throw it on. So I was unable to record actually lifting the engine out, but here's a photo of it. What I did was, with the pulleys, I pulled it all the way up, tied it off with a clove hitch to the boom, and then I swung it off to the side of the boat. I was luckily able to get it to the dock. Here's the engine after. I put it in this box to store it. To get it down the dock, I used this dolly, but it broke on me. And then, yep, just pushed it in here and just gonna leave it there till I sell it or get rid of it. It does run, it just needs a starter, so see what I can get for it. I am back in the engine compartment. Now I'm gonna be cleaning it out, so getting all the dirt and water out, and then pulling out the wiring, hosing, and everything else that I don't need. So like the tank, the water box, the ventilation tubes, fuel lines and fuel pump filter. Pull all that out. I am back another day. I'm gonna start with just removing all this stuff. So the dinghy hose, that hose, pressure washer, and on this side all the tarps and the paddles and everything. So I'll have a clean working space. I'm gonna have to pull out probably this whole panel. I'm just gonna remove it and all the wiring for that, because I won't. Alright, now got everything out, so there's a lot more light, you can see more. So now I just gotta finish getting these wires out, the 2 the vent tubes for the engine, so I won't need that anymore. That'll be nice. That old bilge pump tube that's connected to an old pump that doesn't work anymore. I'll keep this bilge pump tube in for now just because it's still working and I'll need it, but I want to fix it or replace it because like there it's taped, it leaks, and it doesn't look too nice. Need to finish getting the fuel lines out, the fuel tank, the engine controls up to the steering wheel. Might end up cutting that out and that out. I'm not sure if I'll get to that today. I like to fix that pipe over there, the drain pipe. And then, up there's some controls for an outboard. I'll show you that. I want to pull that out. And then all the wiring for the engine controls. So I'll get all that stuff out and then see how it goes. Vacuum and clean. So I'll get back to you. Alright, now I'm under the other side. It's kind of tight in here, sitting down here. So these hoses, oh shoot, what happened? There you go. These hoses, this one and that one, they're zip tied up here. So I cut those zip ties for the hose. And then it's just being secured back here with the hose clamps on the pumps back there. So I'll get those when I'm done with that. This is the old bilge pump I was talking about. So it's held in by 4 bolts and nuts. So I'll undo those. And then this is the handle for the outboard handle. So it's 3 bolts there. That'll get that and all this wiring out of here. And then this is what I'm talking about, like the hose is just laying on top of the steering wire. Just want to get it more organized, less cluttered. So I'll get all that done and get back to you. Alright, so I pulled that handle out of down there, so cleared a lot of the wiring and cables out of there. And now this, I had 6 bolts I had to take out here and 2 screws here. That's loose, but I need to get the hoses off, so loosen that hose down there. And then while I'm in the back here, I'm going to take these screws out to get this blower fan off, save that, cut the wires because they're just taped up bad, and then take this hose off too. That should be everything I got to do back here, so that'll clear a bunch out. So I'll be back in a sec. Alright, so I've got that pump out, all the hoses out, so it's a lot cleaner now. Now I'm going to work on getting the tank out, so it's got the breather tube, the fuel line, then the fill line, and then 2 straps hold it down. That should pull the tank out, and I'll work on the rest after. I believe it's either close to empty or empty, but I cannot confirm that, so we'll see when I get it loosened. Yep, see you. I got the tank out, to a 20-gallon tank, mono alloy. It's like a nickel copper alloy. I'm gonna try and sell that. And then I was able to fit it out of this hole, which saved me a lot of time and effort. So, got that. So now it's all free. Just gonna start working on the rest of the little things now, but I got most of the big stuff out. Alright, so I just pulled out these 2 wires from the engine battery, and underneath that there's a bunch of water, so I'm gonna get that out of there. I pulled the battery out too, so I can get rid of that too. Probably just gonna sell it all as a system, engine and all. So yep, I'm gonna try and use the chop vac and do that. I don't know if it'll be good or not for it, but we'll see. Alright, now I'm getting the throttle and shift cable out. They were connected to these 2 levers, this one, and it's down here now, but this lever, and it's just a cotter pin holding it in. So you pop those cotter pins off for both of those, and then they'll push down. Now they're loose. I'm gonna go from the bottom and pull them all the way out. And also down here, I got one of these, I forget what it's called, multi-tool not reciprocating, but oscillating tool. And then I cut the thin piece of fiberglass holding the fuel tank mounts in. So that's all out now, and then I just washed everything down in that silver and purple cable, the one that I'm going to pull from down here. So I'll do that, and then I'll work on cutting those out, getting the wiring out. So I'll be back. I am back. Those 2 cables are not as easy as I thought. I had to undo these 4, or the bolts up there, but the 4 bolts there, and there. Undo one of the steering cables so that I could pull that bottom plate off. And then come up top, loosen the nuts on this to pull the whole steering system off. There's a bolt here securing it. And then down here to get this, take that off. It holds the outer casing of the cables, and then they'll come out. So yep, a lot of work to do that. This is the aftermath of everything. I already threw all the trash out. Everything I cut out, I'll show you down below when it airs out a little, because there's a little bit of fiberglass dust in the air, but you gotta wear proper PPE. I also had the water hose in there too, spraying everything I was to keep the dust low and the vacuum going. So I got all 3 of those. Now I just got this. It looks like everything got tore apart, so I'm gonna clean it up now. spray down everything, throw out what I don't need, collect the bolts I do need. I am all done cleaning up, so you can see what's left after. There's a few holes there. Gonna have to come back through with that. That drain is clogged, so I gotta pull the hose off down there. I'm gonna take the gas fill out and plug that just with regular fiberglass. And then there's these holes, plug those up. And then down here, it's all open now. Cleaned it best I could. There's water was sitting in there, so I don't know how long. The wood in there is all black and not moldy, but saturated. I don't know what happens to wood when it's all wet. And then there's puddled water here when I cut that support out too. So now I have all this room. Next, these cables too, they head underneath the flooring over there, so I gotta find out where the other end of those are to pull them out. I don't want to pull them just yet, just in case they are important, but they weren't connected to anything on this side. And then this is the hose, I gotta pull that. And yeah, I'm gonna scrub this all down, clean it up, paint it, and then fix this hose too over here. And then I'll get ready to put the new motor support in and the battery supports over here. Once I get all that system set up, I'll start tearing this one down and rewiring that to run off the same system. And then that'll open this free space. I'll have this sail locker right here, all just as its own sail locker. And then that side too, I'll cut that out, have that one, put some nice walls or doors here to access the batteries, but have it separate so I can use this as storage. I'll probably go back and cut these supports out, because on them the wood is open on this side, so I don't know if that's gonna cause issues later, but while I'm here, might as well fix it. And then back here, this support isn't supported from the back, so when you turn it all the way, the pivot hits, or that arm hits the board and starts moving it, so I gotta reinforce that too. I will remove this breather, and then some of these wires will come out too. And then probably while I'm down here too, just fix all these lightning wires, grounding wires. They're all still connected, but they're all corroded. And then see if I can just inspect the bearings on that, so I won't have to pull it out for a while. Yep, that's everything I've done. It looks pretty good.